Every single day, life gives you two choices: stay the same or become better. And let me tell you, if you're not working on yourself, you're slowly destroying yourself. Growth is not optional. Transformation is not seasonal. Success doesn't wait for the right mood, the right day, or the right inspiration. It demands daily effort, consistent action, relentless discipline. Because the truth is, nothing changes until you change. And no one is coming to do it for you. Discipline is the foundation upon which every meaningful achievement is built. Without discipline, dreams remain daydreams, promises dissolve into excuses, and potential becomes wasted talent. You see, discipline is not about chains, it's about freedom. The freedom to rise above laziness, to take control of your choices, and to live with intention instead of drifting through life. Many people mistake discipline for something restrictive, something that limits their fun, something that makes life harder. But the truth is, discipline is the very tool that gives you the power to create the life you want. It doesn't enslave you, it liberates you. When you learn to discipline yourself, you're no longer a prisoner of your impulses, your moods, or your excuses. You gain the ability to act, to build, to follow through when everyone else quits. And in a world where most people let comfort dictate their future, discipline becomes your ultimate advantage. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself you'd change? That you'd start tomorrow? That you'd wake up early, work out, study, build, improve? And yet, when the alarm goes off, when the opportunity to act arrives, the easy choice whispers louder than the right choice. That's where discipline comes in. Discipline doesn't ask, "Do I feel like it today?" Discipline says, "It doesn't matter how I feel, this is what I must do." Because feelings are temporary. Motivation is fleeting. But discipline builds habits, and habits build lives. When you choose discipline, you're not depending on mood swings or bursts of energy. You're creating a structure, a rhythm, a lifestyle where success becomes inevitable because action becomes automatic. This is why those who succeed consistently aren't the most talented or the luckiest. They're simply the most disciplined. Every champion you admire, every leader who inspires you, every person who has built greatness, they all mastered discipline long before anyone saw their results. Discipline is waking up when the bed is warm and the world is asleep. Pushing through one more rep when your muscles scream for rest. Choosing focus while distractions fight for your attention. Discipline is saying no to what feels good in the moment so you can say yes to what matters most in the future. And here's the reality: discipline is not glamorous. It's not applause. It's not recognition. It's not applause from the crowd. It's the quiet choices made in the shadows when no one is watching. It's in those unseen moments where your character is forged, where your habits are shaped, and where your destiny is determined. The question isn't, do you want success? The question is, are you willing to endure the discipline required to earn it? Now let's be real. Discipline is not easy. It's not meant to be. If it were easy, everyone would have the life they dream about. Discipline is uncomfortable. It demands sacrifice. It will test your patience, stretch your willpower, and challenge your endurance. You'll face days where every fiber of your being screams to quit, to take the easy path, to give in. And this is where most people fail. They confuse discomfort with impossibility. They think, if it's this hard, maybe I'm not meant for it. No, the truth is the opposite. The difficulty is the sign that you are moving in the right direction. Growth is uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable. But nothing worth having comes without the fire of discipline. The moment you stop resisting discomfort and start embracing it as the price of progress, that's the moment you unlock a level of strength and resilience you never thought you had. And here's the beauty of discipline: it compounds. At first, it feels unbearable. The alarm clock is a war zone. The workout feels like torture. The new habits seem impossible to sustain. But if you refuse to break, if you keep showing up day after day, something remarkable happens. Your brain rewires, your body adapts, your spirit toughens. What once felt unbearable becomes normal. What once felt heavy becomes light. Discipline transforms into routine, and routine transforms into identity. You no longer have to force yourself to do the hard things, because the hard things become who you are. This is the hidden power of discipline. It doesn't just change what you do, it changes who you become. It turns you into someone unstoppable, someone unshakable, someone who does not wait for conditions to be perfect, but who creates perfection through persistence. And if you doubt this truth, look around at the people who live without discipline. They live in cycles of regret, chasing short-term pleasures and paying long-term prices. They want results without sacrifice, rewards without effort, growth without pain. And so, they stay stuck, trapped by their own lack of self-control. The world is full of wasted potential because people wanted comfort more than greatness. But discipline is the dividing line. It's the separator between those who talk and those who do, between those who wish and those who achieve. Every time you choose discipline, you widen the gap between who you are and who you used to be. Every time you choose discipline, you send a message to the world and to yourself. I will not settle. I will not drift. I will not waste my life. Discipline is not just about achieving goals. It's about living a life that commands respect, that radiates purpose, that leaves a mark. And it all begins with the simple, daily choice to do what must be done, no matter what. Life doesn't reward those who drift, it rewards those who decide. Too many people wake up each morning without a plan, without a direction, without a purpose, and then wonder why years pass by without real change. You cannot stumble your way into greatness. You cannot expect to live on autopilot and somehow land in success. Intentionality is the difference between living a life that happens to you and living a life that happens because of you. When you wake up each day with intention, you're telling the world, I know where I'm going, I know who I'm becoming, and I refuse to let distractions steer me off course. Without it, you're like a ship without a rudder, moved by the wind, tossed by the waves, always busy but never arriving. And here's the truth: business is not the same as progress. You can run in circles for years and still end up nowhere. That's why intention must be the driver. Intentionality means you stop leaving your life to chance. It means you stop saying, I'll see what happens, and start saying, here's what I'm building. It's the art of deciding ahead of time what matters and structuring your day around it. How you spend your morning, how you handle your hours, how you react to interruptions. All of it reflects whether or not you're living intentionally. Too many people let others dictate their time. They answer every notification, say yes to every demand, and live their lives based on other people's priorities. But when you live intentionally, you learn to say no to what doesn't align with your mission. You learn to protect your focus, to design your schedule, to ensure that your energy goes toward building the future you want, instead of fueling distractions you'll later regret. Every choice, no matter how small, is either a step toward your vision or away from it. Intentionality sharpens that awareness. You cannot afford to live without intention because time is too precious. Every day that slips by is a day you never get back. Think about that for a second. Your life is being spent whether you're intentional or not. If you're not deliberate about how you use it, your time will be consumed by things that don't matter. Intentionality forces you to ask yourself hard questions. Who do I want to be in 1 year? What habits will shape me into that person? What must I stop doing today that keeps me from becoming that? Without those questions, you end up working hard but not working smart. You end up filling your schedule with tasks that keep you busy but not effective. Intentionality strips away the clutter and reveals the essentials. It's not about doing more. It's about doing what matters most. Because greatness is not about volume. It's about precision. Living intentionally also requires clarity of vision. If you don't know where you're going, how can you possibly move with purpose? Most people don't fail because they lack ability. They fail because they lack clarity. They set vague goals like, I want to be successful or I want to be happy, but never define what that looks like. That's like saying you want to go on a trip, but refusing to choose a destination. Intentionality forces you to define success for yourself, to paint a clear picture of your future, and then align your daily actions to that vision. If your goals aren't specific, your actions will be scattered. But when your goals are crystal clear, every decision becomes easier, because you can measure it against the life you're building. The intentional person doesn't ask, do I feel like doing this? They ask, does this move me closer to my vision? Intentionality also changes how you handle relationships. Who you surround yourself with matters. Are the people in your life pulling you closer to your potential, or are they holding you hostage to your past? When you live with intention, you become selective about your circle. You stop wasting energy on people who drain you, distract you, or discourage you. You invest in relationships that inspire growth, push you to level up, and hold you accountable. Intentional living means you don't just drift into toxic environments or stay in situations that poison your spirit. You consciously choose who you allow in your space. Every conversation, every interaction, every partnership has an impact, and intentional people are aware of that impact. They don't gamble with their environment, they curate it. And the most powerful thing about intentionality is that it transforms ordinary days into extraordinary ones. A normal morning becomes a launch pad. A single conversation becomes a catalyst. A small decision becomes a turning point. Because when you live with intention, you're no longer just surviving. You're creating, building, becoming. You don't let hours slip through your fingers unnoticed. You squeeze value out of every moment. You measure progress not by chance, but by choice. This is what separates those who live with regret from those who live with fulfillment. One day, you'll look back on your life, and the question will not be how much time you had, but how intentionally you lived it. Did you let life decide for you, or did you decide for life? Learning is not something you finish, it's something you live. Every single day is a classroom, whether you recognize it or not. The problem is, too many people walk through life ignoring the lessons right in front of them. They treat school as the only place for learning, as if education ends when graduation begins. But real growth, real wisdom, real transformation, those come from a lifetime of learning. If you're not learning daily, you're repeating the same mistakes, recycling the same habits, and reliving the same failures. You're stuck in cycles because you refuse to absorb the lessons life keeps presenting. The world is teaching you all the time, but the question is, are you listening? The truth is, knowledge is everywhere. It's in books, in conversations, in failures, in victories, in quiet moments, and in storms that shake you to your core. But most people ignore these opportunities because they're blinded by pride. They think they already know enough. They assume what worked yesterday will be enough for tomorrow. That mindset is the death of growth. The moment you stop learning is the moment you start dying. Because the world is always moving forward, always evolving, always changing. If you stand still, you fall behind. Learning is not about collecting facts. It's about sharpening your mind, expanding your perspective, and preparing yourself for the challenges ahead. It's about constantly becoming more than who you were yesterday. Think about the people who rise to greatness. They are students before they are masters. They are seekers of wisdom before they are leaders of nations, builders of businesses, or creators of movements. They read, they study, they ask questions, they stay curious. And they don't just consume information, they apply it. Applied knowledge is where transformation happens. 1,000 books won't change your life if you never act on what you read. Endless advice won't transform you if you never put it into practice. Learning isn't about looking smart, it's about living smart. Every lesson you take and apply becomes a stepping stone toward the life you desire. But the tragedy is, so many people collect knowledge like trophies on a shelf, never using it, never embodying it. Don't just be a learner in theory, be a learner in action. Learning also requires humility. You cannot grow if you're too proud to admit you don't know. The ego is the greatest enemy of progress. Pride will tell you, I've heard this before, I already know this. And it will block you from seeing deeper truths. But humility keeps you open. Humility says, there's always more to learn, even in the things I think I've mastered. The wisest people in history were the most humble because they understood that knowledge is infinite and the human mind is limited. The moment you believe you've reached a peak of learning, you've built a ceiling over your own growth. But when you stay humble, every experience, every person, every challenge becomes a potential teacher. Even pain, even failure, even betrayal, these become lessons that elevate you if you're willing to learn. And here's something you must understand: learning isn't comfortable. It's not always inspiring. Sometimes it confronts you with truths you don't want to face. Sometimes it exposes your weaknesses, your ignorance, your blind spots. But that discomfort is the very thing that pushes you to grow. Too many people quit learning when it gets uncomfortable. They avoid perspectives that challenge them. They refuse to read what might confront their beliefs. They stay in echo chambers, only surrounding themselves with ideas they already agree with. That's not learning. That's self-delusion. True learning forces you out of your comfort zone. It stretches your mind. It challenges your assumptions. It breaks down false walls you've built around yourself and opens new doors you never knew existed. If you want to grow, you must be willing to be uncomfortable. And let's be clear, learning never ends. It doesn't stop when you reach a certain age, or when you land a good job, or when you achieve a goal. The most dangerous thought a person can have is, I know enough. Life will always demand more from you. New seasons require new skills. New challenges require new strategies. The person you're becoming tomorrow will demand a version of you that is wiser than today. And the only way to meet that demand is to keep learning. Make it a daily discipline. Read something that expands your mind. Listen to voices wiser than yours. Pay attention to your failures and extract the lessons from them. If you live with a mindset of constant learning, you'll never stop evolving. And if you never stop evolving, there will be nothing in this world that can hold you down. Your body is the foundation of everything you do. Without health, your vision is useless, your ambition is powerless, and your dreams remain untouched. You can't build greatness on a broken vessel. Yet so many people live as if their body is indestructible. They neglect it, abuse it, feed it garbage, and then wonder why they have no energy, no clarity, no strength to pursue their goals. You cannot work on yourself in any area of life if you don't first respect the vehicle that carries you through it. Health is not a side project. It's the base upon which every achievement rests. When your body is weak, your mind slows down, your spirit feels heavy, and your motivation evaporates. But when your body is strong, everything else becomes sharper, clearer, more alive. Too many people chase success while silently destroying their health. They grind for money but sacrifice their energy. They chase validation but ignore the signals of exhaustion. They want longevity in their careers but treat their body like it's disposable. That is self-sabotage. Because what good is building an empire if your body can't keep up with the weight of it? What good is achieving your dreams if you're too sick, too tired, or too drained to enjoy them? Your health is not a distraction from success. It's the fuel for it. Without the fuel, the engine dies, no matter how powerful it once was. This is why you must prioritize your health daily. Not once a year, not after a crisis, not when the doctor warns you, but every single day. Health is not just physical, it's holistic. It's how you eat, how you move, how you rest, and how you think. Nutrition is not just about looking good. It's about giving your body the resources it needs to function at its best. Movement is not just about aesthetics. It's about strength, endurance, and vitality. Sleep is not laziness. It's repair, recovery, and rejuvenation. And mental health is not weakness. It's balance, resilience, and clarity. Too many people focus on one area while ignoring the others. They might look strong in the gym, but eat like poison. They might eat well, but never move. They might move their body, but never rest their mind. Real health is balance, and balance requires awareness, discipline, and consistency. When you master all of it, mind, body, and spirit, you unlock energy that feels limitless. And let's not forget the link between health and mindset. When your body is neglected, your confidence suffers. You walk differently when you're out of shape. You speak differently when you don't feel strong. You carry yourself with hesitation when you know deep down you're not taking care of yourself. But when your health is in check, your confidence explodes. You move with energy. You speak with clarity. You think with sharpness. This doesn't mean you need to look like an athlete. It means you need to treat your body like it matters. Because it does. A strong body fuels a strong mind, and a strong mind creates a powerful life. Energy is contagious, and when you have it, it impacts everything around you. Your relationships, your work, your dreams, your future. But here's the truth, taking care of your health is not easy. It requires sacrifice. It requires saying no when everyone else says yes. It requires discipline when temptations are everywhere. It requires choosing long-term vitality over short-term comfort. And yes, it will feel inconvenient at times. Yes, it will feel uncomfortable. But the alternative is far worse. The alternative is a life of low energy, preventable diseases, constant fatigue, and unfulfilled potential. Too many people don't value their health until it's gone. They don't take it seriously until the doctor delivers a warning. They don't change until the damage is done. Don't wait until it's too late. Respect your health now, so it can carry you into the future you deserve. And the beauty of health is that every small choice compounds. Every workout builds strength. Every healthy meal adds vitality. Every good night of sleep restores power. Every moment of mindfulness strengthens your spirit. Health is not transformed overnight. It is built brick by brick, choice by choice, day by day. The key is to treat it as a priority, not an afterthought. To weave it into your identity, not view it as a chore. When you choose health daily, you're not just protecting your body. You're protecting your dreams, your relationships, your destiny. Because in the end, health is not just about living longer. It's about living stronger, living sharper, and living fully. Focus is the weapon that separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck. It is the invisible force that determines whether your dreams become reality or remain fantasies. Most people don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they are distracted. They scatter their energy across too many things, chasing every new opportunity, every trend, every quick fix, instead of locking in on what truly matters. Focus is power, and power without direction is wasted. You could have unlimited potential, but if you can't direct it, it becomes nothing more than noise. A magnifying glass can burn through paper, but only when it concentrates sunlight in one spot. Your mind works the same way. Without focus, your energy diffuses into nothing. With focus, it becomes unstoppable. The problem is, we live in a world built to destroy your focus. Notifications steal your attention. Social media drains your time. Constant noise makes it hard to think clearly. Every day, distractions compete for your mind like predators circling prey. And if you don't fight back, they win. If you don't take control of your focus, something else will. That's why you can spend hours on your phone, scrolling endlessly, yet wonder why your dreams aren't moving forward. That's why you can feel busy all day yet realize you didn't accomplish anything meaningful. Distractions don't just waste your time, they waste your life. They rob you of the hours, days, and years you will never get back. And here's the brutal truth: if you lose focus long enough, you lose yourself. Focus requires clarity. You cannot focus on everything and expect to succeed. You must decide what matters most and give it your undivided attention. That means cutting out noise, trimming the unnecessary, and sometimes saying no to good things so you can say yes to great ones. Most people are afraid of this because it requires sacrifice. It requires letting go of comfort, entertainment, and instant gratification. But nothing extraordinary is built on comfort. Nothing legendary is born out of distraction. Every great achievement in history came from someone who was obsessed. Someone who cut away the trivial to pour everything into their mission. That's what it means to focus, to channel your mind, your energy, your time into what moves the needle, and to refuse to be pulled away by anything less. And focus is not just about doing one thing, it's about being present in everything you do. When you work, work with intensity. When you train, train with discipline. When you rest, rest with intention. Too many people live half present, always thinking about the next thing, never fully locked in on the moment they're in. They scroll while they eat. They text while they talk. They dream while they work. And because they're never fully engaged, they never give their best to anything. Focus demands presence. It demands that you give your whole self to the task in front of you, because that is how excellence is created. Half effort produces half results. Whole focus produces mastery. But here's where most people stumble. They confuse activity with progress. They think being busy means being productive. They think multitasking means efficiency. But the truth is, multitasking is a myth. Every time you split your focus, you weaken it. Every time you jump from one thing to another, you lose momentum. Your brain was designed to lock in deeply on one task, not to scatter across 10. The people who achieve the most are not the ones who do everything. They're the ones who focus on the few things that matter most. They trade shallow effort for deep work. They choose impact over business. They know that a day spent in focused work is worth more than a week spent in distraction. And the gift of focus is that it compounds. The more you practice it, the sharper it gets. When you discipline yourself to focus daily, you train your brain to lock in faster, longer, deeper. Over time, focus becomes your default mode, and distractions lose their grip on you. Suddenly, you realize you are achieving more in months than most achieve in years. Suddenly, you find yourself moving closer to your dreams, while others are still circling in the same spot. Focus creates acceleration. It is the secret weapon of the elite, the difference between those who rise and those who remain. Because when you master focus, you master your future. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to be. Without it, dreams collapse into dust, intentions fade into regret, and potential dies in silence. Discipline is not glamorous. It is not flashy. It does not give you applause in the beginning. In fact, it feels lonely, repetitive, and exhausting at times. But it is the one trait that separates those who reach the top from those who stay stuck at the bottom. Talent may open the door. Motivation may get you started. But discipline is the force that keeps you moving when you no longer feel like it. Discipline is the engine that turns consistency into transformation. If you are waiting to always feel motivated before you act, you will never win. But if you build the muscle of discipline, you act regardless of feeling. And that's how empires are built. Most people fail not because they don't have goals, but because they don't have discipline. They write out plans, make big promises, get excited for a few days, and then let laziness and distraction pull them back. They confuse intensity with consistency. They think showing up once in a while is enough. But greatness demands showing up every single day, whether the world notices or not. Discipline is about repetition. It's about doing the small things relentlessly until they add up to something massive. Think about it, nobody becomes overweight overnight. It's years of small habits compounded. Nobody becomes a master overnight. It's years of disciplined work stacking up. Discipline is not about big bursts of effort. It's about the quiet grind, the daily commitment, the decision to keep going when quitting feels easier. Discipline is not punishment. It is freedom. Weak people think discipline restricts them, but the truth is, discipline liberates you. When you are disciplined, you are in control of your time, your energy, your future. You are not a slave to your cravings, your impulses, or your emotions. You command them. You direct them. You bend them to serve your mission. That is real freedom. When you lack discipline, you are shackled by your own habits. You become a prisoner to comfort, procrastination, and excuses. But when you embrace discipline, you take the wheel of your life. You don't drift aimlessly anymore. You steer with intention. Discipline may feel like sacrifice in the moment, but it is actually the path to everything you want. Success, health, wealth, relationships. All of it demands discipline. And let's be honest, discipline hurts. It hurts to wake up earlier than your body wants. It hurts to keep going when your muscles are burning. It hurts to study when your friends are out having fun. It hurts to save money when you want to spend it. It hurts to stay consistent when results don't show immediately. But you must choose your pain, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. One hurts now, the other haunts you forever. Regret whispers in your ear at night, reminding you of what you could have been. Discipline silences that voice, because it ensures you gave everything you had. The short-term pain of discipline will always be lighter than the lifelong weight of regret. The truth about discipline is that it is built, not born. Nobody comes into this world with discipline hardwired into their DNA. It is developed like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. Every time you resist temptation, you strengthen it. Every time you follow through on your word, you reinforce it. Every time you keep going when you don't feel like it, you engrave it deeper into your identity. Discipline is not about perfection, it's about persistence. You will stumble, you will fail, you will slip. But discipline means getting back up and staying committed regardless. Over time, what once felt impossible becomes automatic. The actions you struggled with become habits, and those habits define your destiny. And the beauty of discipline is that it compounds across every area of your life. If you are disciplined in the gym, you start becoming disciplined with your work. If you are disciplined with your time, you start becoming disciplined with your money. Discipline bleeds into everything because it rewires the way you think. It builds character, grit, and resilience.